guess who we have online?
It's got to be Joe.
From Eastvale, California. I know he said he was having some problems getting in tonight.
Yeah.
But he's here with his chain, the EVJ in the background. And, Joe, what are your thoughts about the Lions clinching the division and the number 1 seed? I know you got a lot to say tonight.
What a ball game, and what a way to prove that they belong. You know, I was worried, you know, with the defense, you know, having its struggles for the last several games, but you know what? They showed out yesterday. They came big and played big the whole game. I think the kid Amik Robertson did an unbelievable job on Jefferson, and Jefferson. I don't know, man. I've never seen him drop balls like that before, but he had some balls in his hands that he didn't catch. And, you know, there's got to be 1,000 reasons why a receiver might not be able to hold on to a ball, but he did a great job. Anzalone, his presence alone in the middle seemed to make a huge difference in the defense and how they just swarmed. You know, Chris Collinsworth, I think Chris Collinsworth is a very good color commentator. You know, he knows the game so well. You know, he explained how, you know, the defensive line just kind of enveloped Darnold and didn't over-penetrate, which they've had a problem with sometimes during the season. And they were able to circle him and not over-penetrate and put pressure on him, move him out of the pocket. And, you know, Darnold's had a great season, but I don't think he's all that great of a quarterback. You know, we've seen that over the first several years of his career. So
yeah, I to piggyback, I just said that.
Oh, did
he's
you?
Not great. He's not great.
I haven't heard anything you guys said today.
Oh, okay.
That's okay, Joe.
Yeah,
we like to repeat ourselves.
No, we're just saying. I love to repeat myself. He's not great.
I agree.
There's so back in the day, it was, you know, Elway, Montana. Those guys were great. Now these guys are great. So it's only 5. There's only 5 considered to be great quarterbacks in the NFL right now: Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo, L.A.
Quarterbacks? You think Lamar is up there with Montana and them?
No. I'm saying those guys were great.
Okay.
I'm saying like the now. The great guys considered great now is Lamar, Burrow, you know, Buffalo's kid, obviously the Kansas City kid, and Stafford. Those are the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL, period. Hands down.
I think Jackson is freaking an incredible quarterback.
He'd probably win MVP again.
I mean, he has proven that he is he's a legitimate, you know, thrower nowadays.
He has.
He used to be a running threat only, but that dude, he's got a great arm and he's making very good decisions all season long. You know, I just think Lamar Jackson's thing is that you know, he chokes, you know, in the big games. I mean, that's been the bottom line. You know, he has not played well in the playoffs or in big games, and you know, it seems that the pressure really bothers him a lot.
And it comes down to that one, yeah.
Well, Joe, listen. So, what were your takeaways for the game last night? Were you kind of shocked at how slow that offense kind of got started? Was that kind of disturbing a little bit to you? It kind of reminded me of the Bills game a little bit.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you know, both the Bills and the Vikings have better defenses than most of the teams we've played all year long. Yeah. So when you put a good defense against a good offense, it'll take some time, you know, to work out, you know, the kinks and find your way. And I just think Detroit's resilience and their constant pounding, you know, up the middle, you know, takes a toll on any defensive line. And they were able to make timely, you know, passes. And, you know, I can't say enough about Amon-Ra St. Brown. You know, I mean, he didn't have a whole lot of catches yesterday, but when he was needed and when he had to make a cut and find some distance between him and his defender, he was able to do it and get open and give Goff a target to throw to. And he did it multiple times throughout the game. The same thing Jameson Williams. He's made himself a legitimate threat, in the league, and he's gained a huge amount of confidence. And Goff's proven to be a stalwart. He's no slouch in there, and I think I think he can be a championship quarterback too.
I do too. I think so.
Well, yeah, if Joe Namath can be, a Trent Dilfer can be, yeah, he can.
I would put Goff above Trent Dilfer.
Oh, no, of course. I'm just
Trent
saying.
Dilfer.
He's a
He
hostile
dropped
alert.
Trent Dilfer's name.
No, I'm just saying. if he can, absolutely, Goff can do it. Absolutely. But can he win the big game?
But I'll tell you something. You're talking about being great and good and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when you even look at it in other sports, Hall of Famers, does Hall of Famer automatically make you great? Because you got people in the Hall that are not in the Hall that you could say are great and haven't made it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about them retiring recently. I'm talking like guys like, not to jump into baseball, but, does a Hall of Fame automatically give you that great title? What do you think, Joe?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Hands down. If you make it to the Hall of Fame, you are great. No doubt about it. If you're playing at the professional level and you make it to the Hall of Fame at the professional level, it doesn't get any better. You are great. Are you the greatest? Maybe not. But, you are great at what you're doing if you're in the Hall
But
of
does
Fame.
stats make you great?
Well,
Absolutely. It's the main thing. It's the main thing that
It has to.
you're judged by and what you're measured by.
But Corey's always made the argument that, when we talked about Matt Stafford on the show, he said all that time is garbage stats, all the touchdowns and yardage and stuff like that. But my thing is, where do you but then you got guys, does world championships make you great? Dan Marino never got a world championship. So the stats would have been proven there.
Well, his stats were off the charts.
Right, but he never won anything.
Right. Well, because
but there can be. Can you say that there's?
Non-winner. Yeah. I know what you're
Can you
saying.
say that there can be great players that may have not made the Hall and may have not won the championships, but the stats are there? Could you consider some players like that a great player?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think you can. Some guys don't get the stats because they suffer an injury, in the middle of their career or at the height of their career, and they never attain the stats. And some guys are great. They just don't have all the numbers, or they just don't generate a whole lot of publicity around.
a la Bo Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. A great two-sport athlete.
Yeah.
He has a
Career
major fall during a game. I think it was against frickin' the Cowboys. Was it the Raiders? Well, he was playing with the Raiders.
No, he was
but I
playing
think
with the
it was
Raiders. I'm sorry.
It was against the Cowboys, and he went down, and he was never the same after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. Those guys are.
I
There's
think
lots
that
of great players.
Or does great players just somebody's opinion?
No,
I mean, because you got championships, you have stats, you have, longevity too. I mean, stats can be influenced by longevity. Look at Jerry Rice, probably the best wide receiver in football, but he played 20 years.
Yeah, but before he started going crazy and playing with other teams, it was ridiculous.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he was ridiculous. So, but I hear what you're saying.
That dude had hands like nobody's business.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree with you.
He caught anything that was around him.
Yeah.
I just feel like to put somebody to say somebody's not a great player because they haven't won so many
No, you can't say
championships.
that. I don't think you can say
or
that.
may not have may not be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's to me it's almost more opinion based.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's eye test, it's opinion, but championships and stats create it. John Sally has 5 championship rings. He's not a Hall of Famer,
Right.
so I hear what you're saying.
Nor is he really even a great player. I mean, he was a
exactly.
good player, a good
Right.
role player in a system that worked for him. He was a big forward. He liked to rebound. He had Dennis Rodman, to jump through the sky.
That kind of
So I mean, was he great? No, but does he have a bunch of championships?
Right.
Yeah. And he was a good team player.
Right. So you kind of have to go by the numbers. That's what they do it. That's why Rose is who Rose is. He gets 4,000 something odd hits. That's ridiculous. So that's what it is. But golf has its chance to prove to be great. He's got a way to go, but we'll see.
Well, how many championships is he going to have to win for you to think that he's a great quarterback? I want to get this from him, Joe. He's kind of bashed golf a little bit throughout the season.
Hey, lights out, MVP candidate, runner up, or whatever he's going to be. He just has to win the Super Bowl.
Just one Super Bowl.
He has to win the Super Bowl. He has to win the Super Bowl to be like, oh, next season they can get back again. He has to do this. The trade hasn't worked out. It hasn't.
Well, let's put it this way. He has played 3 seasons where he was, all pro. The season that they lost the Super Bowl when he was in LA, and the last 2 seasons with the Lions, he's been outstanding. And it was a little unfortunate that they weren't able to win that Super Bowl in LA. But they had a major injury with Todd Gurley, when he went down, that changed the face of their offense. And he was like a 2-year wonder at that point. So he's always possessed the tools to be great. He just hasn't had, and he's had pretty decent teams around him, but now he's got a real team. And I think he's had an epiphany with his toughness. I think his toughness has started to become a part of his persona. And I think that's due to being in Detroit, honestly.
Well, they had a good system in L.A. He had an all-world defense when they went, but he didn't have the receivers like that he had, now. But I think Cup was a pup, or he had Woods. He didn't have the receiver. He didn't. So they didn't score much then, but he had an all-pro defense. But like I said, Levace, what's his name?
McVay.
He saw something that he didn't like. So that's my beef. That's just my beef with him.
That he didn't like necessarily, but I think Goff's knock after his first couple of seasons was he seemed a little bit soft, and when he played that way, he threw a bunch of interceptions, and no coach was going to want to see that.
Right.
But he always had the tools to be a very good quarterback in the league. So
that can't show up.
When the trade came about with Stafford, Stafford's been the toughest quarterback in the league for 10 years. Prior to him coming to LA, he's just who the hell plays 5 games with a broken back, in the NFL,
right.
and he did. So what can you say? Those guys are. Goff has gotten tougher. He didn't have the toughness that McVay wanted, or needed, in his quarterback when they made the flip flop, and they got what they needed because they got an all-star quarterback who was tough and who was smart and who was a championship caliber quarterback. They put him in a good system with good receivers and a great defense, and it all freaking worked out for him that year. So the Lions, who knows? They have the same kind of chemistry right now. They have a great team. They have a good offense. They have a very good defense that proved itself last night. But hell, what's the story with Terrion Arnold? I haven't even heard a report about him yet.
From what I heard, he said he's going to play in the playoffs. That the X-rays were negative. He was one of the ones that he actually was carted off the field last night. Yeah, and Terrion said he was going to be able to play in the playoffs, which is a good thing.
I got 2 questions for you, Joe.
Yeah.
Do the Lions win the Super Bowl? That's the question.
They can. Hell yeah, they can win the Super Bowl.
Nope. I didn't ask you that. Imagine that.
You
said,
asked me, are they going to?
Yeah.
Man, yeah, they're going to win the Super Bowl, bro. Yeah, that's my answer. Yes, they're going to win it. I know that's what you wanted me to say, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're going to win it.
All right. I
keep telling you, I keep saying I've said all year long. You know, they have 2 games to win to get to the Super Bowl. If they make it to the Super Bowl with Goff, with St. Brown, with Jahmyr Gibbs, all healthy, and they keep their offensive line healthy, they're going to win.
Yeah, because Zeitler went out with a hammy towards the end.
Yeah, but it didn't look like a serious hammy. I bet he's going to be back next game. 2 weeks, he's going to be back.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say the Lions will win the Super Bowl.
Well, they won't. There's a limb.
I'm going to walk out on that limb. Why not?
I'm
the
walking
Lions
with
have
you,
been
Scott.
they've been all or nothing. So I'm going to have to stick with that.
I'm walking with you now. I'm going to go ahead and take that walk with you.
And
that's
a real.
Okay. We're going to hang out on the pier.
I did. Now, a couple years ago, I did say, we talked about it on the Cohen Bro Opinion Show. I said Matt Stafford would win a Super Bowl with the Rams, and Corey didn't believe me, and that came true. So
that's not true.
Yeah, it is.
No.
I'll have to replay the tape.
Yeah, that's
on
not
that.
true. I didn't say. Well, he had to prove it too. I mean, he wasn't just a come over, but he had an all-world defense. Yeah, Sam Darnold.
But it's a team sport. We talked about that.
Okay.
Before.
Now, so they may have to see the kid in Kansas City. He's been resting too. The Lions see Kansas City. They beat him.
The Lions can beat Kansas City. Yes.
Not 2 years ago or last year. I'm talking about. You want health? Kansas City's got health. Kansas City healthy. Mahomes healthy.
We can beat Kansas City.
Okay.
I think we could beat Kansas City.
I think the Lions can beat Kansas City. I think they can beat Buffalo, and I think they can beat the Eagles. So and they can definitely beat Baltimore. So
see, I would be a little worried about Baltimore with the 3-headed monster, Lamar, and Henry. You guys don't do well. Your kryptonite is running quarterbacks. Mahomes is going to be your kryptonite because they're going to three-peat. That's what's at stake for them. No team. I know you guys have just done this history thing.
Mahomes is not going to win this year.
Okay.
He's not winning this year.
Okay.
It's going to be someone else. There's going to be a new
I think you're going to see a lot of
NFL.
I think you're going to see in the playoffs. I think you're going to see some upsets that you probably didn't think.
I'm betting on Mahomes. I got to bet on Mahomes until somebody proves it otherwise. And they're playing for something that's never happened, like you guys have done this year. You've never been in the playoffs like a lot, and you've never been in the NFC hosting. So you feel it. Your fans, you feel it. I'm just going off of Mahomes' history, Andy Reid, defense, Kelsey retiring. It's a lot. It's a big story to this, and it's the three-peat. Goff won't be going up against Darnold.
Maybe.
He won't be going up against Darnold.
He'll go up against Darnold if they beat Los Angeles.
No. I'm talking about the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah.
Now, he's not going up against Darnold. He's not.
Do you think Minnesota's going to come back and beat the Rams? Because I think the Rams look kind of tough.
I think the Rams will probably beat them.
I think they got a chance to beat them for sure.
I think they will. No, they have.
They beat them earlier.
They have the better quarterback.
They do, for sure, hands down.
Yeah.
So, but do you think they'll win?
Yeah, I think the Rams will beat Minnesota. Minnesota sold out last night. Like I said, he turned back into the pumpkin. He turned back into the Jet.
Minnesota has been beatable all year long. They haven't lost. They've come through, and like I said, I've never seen Jefferson drop 3 passes like he dropped.
Yeah. Well, you had said it earlier.
Night.
Something was missing. Yep, I agree with you. Yeah, Rams beat them.
Yeah. And I think the Lions. It was surprising to see the Lions put that much pressure on the quarterback. And I'm telling you, dude, I think it was bringing Anzalone back in the middle, freed up.
Oh, yeah,
those
definitely
guys.
made a difference.
Huge difference. Huge difference. I don't know if you saw Campbell's post game.
Anzalone's that good?
Dude,
yes.
Hey, he makes a difference. It's a mental thing. It's a psychological thing.
Really?
and I think that's the power of Dan Campbell too. I think it's more psychological than anything. I think he's got Ben Johnson and Terry Glenn to tighten and all the nuts and bolts and make that thing work. But he's got the psychological edge on everybody right now, and he's got those guys believing they can win whatever they want to win. And I tell you, when I look at Super Bowls and championship teams, from all sports, the team that seems most driven and a team that appears and seems to have in its heart that they are not going to, they're not going to lose. That's what I'm seeing in Detroit's team right now. And you've never seen that with them, not with the Lions anyway. You saw that with the Red Wings a few years, back in the 90s. They hadn't won 54 years.
But not only that,
54 years, but they were not going to be denied in '97, and it was unbelievable how they came together and did not allow it to happen. They had lots of pushback, from other teams, but they were determined to win, and they won it.
Well, not only that, this isn't your same old Lions. I mean, this is a team, in my opinion, that has been able to adapt to every hardship that they've encountered this season. I mean, they haven't lost 2 games in a row. They went 8-0 on the road. You're 6-0 in the division. Your defense was completely depleted. And every team that they've come up against, they've always been able to find something new and throw those good teams off their game. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's a good. I mean, hey, Colin Bro opinion. The Roar. It's well, I don't think the Lions. I don't think they played a lot of good teams. To be honest with you.
Well, I think they played good teams. I mean, you had to play the Packers twice. You won. You had to play Minnesota twice.
Well,
they won. Minnesota has a great record.
I said a lot of good teams.
Okay.
I just don't like.
You had to play the Bucs. You lost to the Bucs.
Bucs not a good team.
Well,
they're good for the South. I hear what
you're
saying. No, I just don't think
they're
the
a
schedule.
playoff team.
The toughest schedule was in the division.
Absolutely.
The Cardinals was nothing. Dallas had no players. The Rams had no players. The Bucs had no players. They lost that. They didn't. To me, they didn't. Texans could have beat you through 5 picks. They didn't play a lot of good teams. And my other question was, do you think all of this winning, and not all of this winning, and they didn't really take a lot of losses? This is a new season. I don't think they played a lot of good teams. You guys can sit here and say they did because they won a lot of games, but they beat a lot of bad teams. Let's be honest. They did. You beat Love when he had one leg, and they could have lost the game then at home against Love. Chicago, I mean, how many good teams did they beat? Seriously.
Well,
I mean, name them.
We talked about
Minnesota.
You only can play who's in front of you.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I know you only play who's in front of you, but that's what I'm saying. They didn't play a lot of good teams. They didn't.
Nobody plays a lot of good teams. Everybody beat up on the other teams. I just think that's nonsense.
I disagree with that.
I think everybody in the NFL is good. Even the third teamers, they're good. They're good football players.
Well, yeah,
nobody is a bad football player in the NFL.
Right.
So did they gel as a team? Maybe not. Were they good teams? Not by their record. But that's why you play the game every Sunday, is because anytime you go out on that field, you might get smacked in the mouth. And if you don't allow it to happen, then someone can call you a good team. So.
Okay.
All right, Joe.
All right.
I know you didn't get to hear the Roar trivia question, so I'm gonna read it back to you.
All right.
What Detroit Lion tight end has the most career touchdowns? Is it A, Sam Laporta, B, Charlie Sanders, C, Brandon Pettigrew, D, David Hill, or E, David Sloan? What do you think, Joe?
Shoot. Who did you say before Pettigrew?
Charlie Sanders.
Charlie Sanders.
You're going with Charlie Sanders?
I'm going to go with Charlie Sanders.
All right, Charlie Sanders.
That's back in the day.
So let me ask you this. We had talked about it before you got on. Do you think, this is the Roar poll question that was written in by Tank Davis from Detroit. He said, do you think there should be a reseeding format in the NFL that gives a team with a better record a chance to get a home game over a division winner? So what do you think on that, Joe?
You know what? You could no, I don't think so. I think they're doing it the right way. Bottom line is, we had one division, the NFC North, that had 3 outstanding teams in it this year. With
Sure.
outstanding records. So that question is clearly geared towards, hey, should Minnesota get a better, selection? Well, bottom line is each of these divisions, they have winners. They play the whole season. You play to win your division, and then you look to see who's going to get the number 1 seed or the seeding. So you can't continually tweak it just to what, to get a possibility of a better draw. No, I don't think so. I don't think that works out in the end. I think it's fine. The bottom line is whoever's going to win it all, they have to go through everybody that's winning anyway. You're going to have to play somebody good no matter what. You can't dodge other teams. You're going to beat if you win it all, you're going to beat the best teams that are playing the best at that time.
Okay. So yesterday was meaningless? I thought it was.
No. Yesterday was for the number 1 seed, but if we had lost, we'd be playing LA on Sunday. We wouldn't get the bye, and we'd be playing LA on Sunday on the road, which would suck. That would suck for us, and it sucks for Minnesota. But no, I don't think we deserve an advantage over LA because of that, or any other team because of that. We lost our division if we'd lost yesterday.
So, I thought you were saying like it doesn't matter. That's why I asked.
Because honestly, if you were to look at it, if they would have did a reseeding, obviously Detroit would have had the bye. Eagles would have been 14-3, which is the same record as the Vikings. So basically, the Vikings would have been the 3 seed if they reseeded, and they would have had to have played. If you reseeded around the Bucks.
Listen.
No, the Vikings wouldn't have been a 3 seed. They would have been 15-2.
If they had to if they reseeded it. If Detroit obviously has the bye, Eagles are 14-3. Vikings are 14-3. Yeah.
Right,
so if they reseeded, they would
have.
They end up getting the 5th seed, and they have to go and play a 10-7 Rams team. They won 4 more games.
So real quick, this is the last regular season.
The last regular season. Yes.
We're giving the folks a little bit more.
Yeah.
So my team, if I'm a Lions fan, which I'm not.
Surprise, surprise, right?
Not at all.
We all know that already, Corey. Gosh.
If I was a Lions fan, you know who scares me really, really? Green Bay and the Rams. I don't want to see them. If I'm being honest with myself. If I'm a Lions fan, I'm being honest with myself.
Green Bay does not concern me. The Rams do, though.
Okay. I'm not concerned with Philly. Philly's a mess, even though they're gonna argue their way out of a win. The reason why I say love, because he plays you guys tough, and we know what Stafford's capable of. He almost single-handedly beat you in the beginning of the year with nobody. So I'm just saying, as a Lion fan, is there anything you guys are just going to roll through? I know you guys are going to the Super Bowl. You're going to beat Mahomes, and everything's going to be great. And Kelsey and Taylor won't get married because of it. But
wait a second. It's not all fantasy, bro. This is all based on reality and what's already happened this season.
I agree with you, Joe.
It's not fantasy. Come on now.
Come
on,
listen.
Corey.
While we're talking about this, do you have some time to stay on with us, Joe?
Real quick.
Sure.
Let's talk playoff picture. So I want to get your opinion. That way we have a 3-headed monster here. So the AFC right now, the Chargers have to go to Houston to play the Texans. Who do you got in that, Joe?
You know what? I think the Chargers are the better team, in the end. I think their defense has been playing great. They're going to give up a bunch of points, but they're able to score points. the question in that game will be, can the Texans defense stop the Chargers? And, that's just a crapshoot. I think that game's a toss-up. It's a 3-point game, I think, at best. It's a 3-point or less game.
Yeah.
Who you got, Cole?
I like the Chargers.
You got the I'm going to go with the Chargers. Chargers all around. Next game, the number 6 Steelers take on the number 3 Ravens in Baltimore. Who do you have?
Baltimore. Baltimore's going to kick the shit out of the Steelers.
Baltimore
pardon me. Sorry about
Baltimore
that.
by 20. Steelers are a mess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't see an upset here? A possible upset here?
With the Steelers in Baltimore?
Yeah. Interdivision rivals?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No,
I mean, maybe it's time for a change of pace with Tomlin. Maybe a new voice. I don't know. I like him.
I've heard Mike Tomlin. They need to make a change there.
Yeah.
But
I don't think Pittsburgh's defense is good enough to stop Baltimore's offense. And Derrick Henry is still a beast. I don't know how that guy can run over that many people in a season and not be hurt. And Lamar has been playing good. I kind of, what I'm looking for most in that game is to see how the pressure affects Lamar Jackson's performance. If he looks a little bit jittery, I think it's only going to get worse as the playoffs go on. And I think they should be able to get past Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Could this be a trap game?
No.
Broncos versus the Bills.
No.
In Buffalo.
No.
There's got to be an upset in here somewhere.
Not that one.
What do you think, Joe?
Not that
Dude,
one. Bo Nix is a
I tell
rookie.
you, Bo Nix is a gamer, man. He
I love
reminds me of Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield is a gamer, and he's a crapshoot. If that dude comes out and is throwing the ball accurately, you never know what could happen. I think the Bills are the team that's most likely to end up in the Super Bowl over
KC?
Over Kansas City. Yeah. I think the Bills are most likely going to get there. They've been denied several times, and I think that they're playing the best that they can play. The only question is, the Lions did not play well that game. Their defense was decimated. Their offense was sputtering early and then, came alive in the second half. But the bottom line is, I don't think anyone can really. They're not going to be able to deny the Bills. I think the Bills are going to play good. I don't think their defense is all that great, and that's going to be their downfall.
Yeah, they're getting some players back, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yep.
So let me ask you this: we'll go into the NFC. Do you think this is where the upsets will occur? You got the Packers heading into Philly. They take on the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to be too much for the Packers. I just do. Barkley, I don't think the Packers are going to be able to stop him. What are you guys' thoughts?
Like I said, I got the Phillies, so that would eliminate you guys seeing, Love again.
You see the Phillies hitting some homers or what?
I think the Philly, because Saquon is on a mission. Saquon is on a mission. There's kind of no answer for Brown when he's ready to play. They have a good offensive line. Hurts can beat you inside and out. I'm not a Hurts fan. I don't think he's a great passer, but he makes throws and he can run, which could be your kryptonite too. Because you have no answer for Brown, I don't think.
We had an answer for Jefferson
or Saquon. I get it. You guys are happy you're going to Super Bowl because you beat Minnesota yesterday. But what I'm saying is Saquon is something to deal with as well. He is. So that's kind of I don't think Lions can beat them, but they got a good back too. Actually, the number 2 back in the NFL. So,
Commanders head to Tampa. Is this a trap game? I mean, this could be. I mean, is this if the Buccaneers won, or even if the Commanders won? Would it be a huge upset if either one of these teams took this game over the other?
The trap game would be Washington playing the Lions. because he's something else. They beat the Buccaneers, I think.
I think the Bucs are going to win that game.
I think the Commanders beat them.
I say the Bucs are going to win that ball game.
And I think we talked about this earlier.
Baker's good.
You got
season.
the Vikings. Do you have the Rams over the Vikings, Joe?
Yep.
You know what? I think I do because Sam Darnold was shaken last night and he got rocked a few times.
Yep.
And I think Jefferson's going to have a better game, but I don't think Darnold's going to be able to put that many passes into his hands for scores. So, I see the Rams being able to play a good game, and then we're going to have to play the Rams in the end.
Oh boy, yeah. Stafford's been there before. That's why they will beat Minnesota,
and
like
then,
you said.
And then they're going to get smacked for the second time this season by the Lions.
Okay, well they have something to prove. Stafford wins. He gets an NFC. I got him in the Hall of Fame.
Well, if Commanders beat the Bucs, we got the Commanders. They're the lower seed.
They're not no slouch. They're no slouch. Jaden Daniels is a monster. He's heck on wheels. It's going to be an interesting playoff.
He's heck on wheels.
He's heck on wheels, man. He's something to deal with. He's a problem.
He's a good player, man.
It's just your offense is better than their defense. But Jaden Daniels will give anybody problems. Anybody.
Exactly. Our offense is better than their defense. That's the key.
Yep.
So
I'm a realist, man. You guys can do it. I don't think you will, but you can. You can get there. Like I just think Mahomes and Reed won't be denied. I just think it's just that kind of storyline.
I think Mahomes and Reed can be denied, and they're going to get denied.
Well, he has been denied the last 2 years.
Who's going to beat them? It could be Baltimore or
everybody kept
Baltimore.
saying, like, the regular season means nothing to me, but
You
they
don't
won
think the
15
Bills
games.
could knock them off?
They haven't.
They haven't. But that's not the question. The question is, can they this time?
No, because I got them winning the Super Bowl. No, just like you guys can beat Kansas City. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me saying that the Bills can't beat them? You're saying the Lions can beat Kansas City. That's your opinion. That's what you think.
Correct.
Buffalo has not. Well, you know what? You know what Kansas City has proven? They win Super Bowls. You haven't. It's a big difference.
It's a pass. Those are all in the past. We're talking about this season.
Okay. Well, they're 15-2.
This season and in a couple weeks. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, Joe, I want to thank you for coming on. You've been with us since preseason.
Yeah, come back with the playoffs.
And every it seems like every week he comes on, he's got some different paraphernalia on.
He's a true Lion.
I mean, anybody that has an EVJ in the back in lights,
dude. I can't even believe my daughter came up with that. Got to thank Brianna for the Christmas gift. Thank God for Christmas, because
that's right.
That's when new stuff comes around. I got these nice jerseys, and this kid was great last night. Jameer Gibbs.
That is true.
Yeah, best back in football. Best back in football. Actually, you know what? I want to see Kansas City and the Lions. I want the Lions to get there.
Yeah, me too. I would love to see that game.
So you'll see this, and you'll see this in quarterbacking. That's what's going to happen. That's what you're going to see. So, yeah, Lions, win the whole thing. Win the NFC East and go play the kid in the red and white.
Can't take nothing away from that guy and Mahomes, but I think we can beat him. We have a better offense than their defense, and I think we can stop their offense a few times, and that's what we've done a couple different times over the last couple of years.
Well, you'll have a good coaching matchup. Well, Spags is great. I'm not even going to read, and I'm not. Okay. So, yeah. Let's see it. Let's see it play out.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. It's going to be fun. It'll be fun to talk about it over the next few weeks, huh?
This is going to be a great playoff. It is. It's going to be a great playoff. All seriousness,
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. And we're going to be doing the show. So
it should be fun.
Yeah, it will.
Joe, thanks for coming on. And listen, we'll be back playoff action in a couple weeks, and
nice.
we hope to hear from you soon.
All right, I'll be around.
All right, Joe.
Thanks
a
for
lot,
having
buddy.
me
Thanks,
again,
Joe.
All right.
as always.
All
Thank
right.
you.